Hi everyone. So today what I want to do is I want to talk to you about how to gain more security, income, and fulfillment in your lives. So what I'm about to talk to you about is actually very counterintuitive. So what I mean by this is that it might go against what you've been told on how to become happy and successful. And I wanted to share this with you because, I hear so many of my clients and my students, they think of getting this dream job, right? So they give up a lot of their time, a lot of their money, sometimes a lot of their personal values and ethics just so they can get this dream job, okay? And the assumption is that once they get this dream job, then they'll be fulfilled and they'll be happy. And this is the key point here, right? What they think is that it's only after they obtain this dream job then they'll be fulfilled and happy. So there's a problem with this model, and the problem is that 80%, in fact actually it's more like 90% of the population is actually not happy at work. They're just not feeling fulfilled. So it's really interesting. So a lot of people, what they do is they work really hard to get this job, but then they're not happy. And that's, like I said, the majority of the population. So on top of this, when I talk to them, I'm like, why don't you start something of your own, and why don't you try something on your own? What they normally say is that, look, I want more security. I want to have that security of getting a paycheck. So here's what is really interesting, and again very counterintuitive, is that having a job is actually one of the most insecure or unsecure ways to make money. And why do I say this? I say this because, look, when the market turns in a different direction, you could lose your job. When clients and they go to a different competitor, you could lose your job. What happens if you don't fit into the culture in your company? You could lose your job. And what if you don't put in the hours that you're required to put in, like everybody else is putting in? What if you're not willing to sacrifice other parts of your life like other people are? And if you're not willing to do it, then you probably could lose your job. Okay, and I'm saying this because I've actually experienced this. I've been a consultant, and there's many long hours you got to put in. So it's kind of expected of you. So instead, I thought I would give to you another way on how you can actually improve your income, how you could have more security and have more fulfillment, and not just and not just thinking of your career, but just how to have this in general. Okay, now this is counterintuitive, but I think it's going to work, and it has worked in my life and in a few other people that I know who I've suggested this to. So what I mean here is that what you want to do here is you want to start thinking of not your career as a thing that's going to make you fulfilled. Okay, what you want to start thinking is you want to start thinking fulfillment first, right? So start thinking fulfillment first, and then work backwards and start thinking, how do you get that career to make that thing that's going to give you fulfillment happen? Okay, so the way to do this is you got to think differently from the crowd, and that's why I said this is counterintuitive. Okay, so when you're thinking counterintuitively, that means that you're going to face a lot of resistance from people because they're not going to get it. You're going to look at things in a way that people won't look at, in the same way. And you are going to potentially have to be more patient and at the same time, like I said, do things differently. Okay, and this is not easy. So this is why 80% of the population or 90% of the population are not going to experience this. So what you want to do here is you want to do a couple of things. Number one is, like I said, you want to put your focus and your attention on long-term fulfillment and not just on getting that paycheck and earning money. Okay, now here's what's interesting, and that is I know that money is important. I know that money is something necessary, and I know that you're going to need it. So maybe what you could do is you could find temporary ways of earning money and making an income. Okay, but in the hours that you're not earning money, maybe you can do some of the things that I'm suggesting. And that is, maybe what you start to do here is you start creating a list. Okay, you create a list of all the things that have made you happy and successful and excited. Okay, and they don't have to be career related, but just things in your life that have made you feel happy, excited, motivated, and just put that on a piece of paper. Okay, and when you do that, what's going to end up happening is you're going to start creating this list, and you're going to actually start to feel really happy and excited. But your brain is going to go, well, I can't make money doing that. It's not possible for me to make money doing that. And then most people will just shut it down and they're not going to continue. So what you want to do is you want to allow your brain to do that, and all that doubt's going to come in, but then you want to just park it and then still continue with this list. So now you got this list. Okay, and then what I want you to do then is I want you to prioritize this list. Okay, so come up with your top, 3 to 4 things on this list that's really, really going to make you feel fulfilled in terms of what it is that you want to have in your life or in your career. Okay, now this prioritization is very, very important, but so is actually getting more clear on it. Okay, so what you're doing is you're getting more clear in general, but you're also prioritizing in terms of the things that are going to make you more happy and fulfilled. So then you got this list, okay, and then your brain again is going to say, well, it's not possible. I can't make money doing this. Who's going to pay me to do these things? All that kind of stuff. Okay, that's okay. Keep going. Then what's going to end up happening is you've got this list, and it's very clear now, right? So you got this clear list of all the things that you really want to do. There might be doubt that you can actually get paid doing these things, but what you're going to do is you're going to refine this list. You're going to make it clear. You're going to make it concise. You're going to make it very, very not vague in terms of what it is that you want, almost to the point where you can actually experience it. Now, when you do this, again, your mind is going to say, it's not possible. Okay? Let it go. And this is what gets really interesting. If you can actually create this list and make it very, very clear as to what it is that you want, you will start to attract opportunities, people, and situations which are really going to help you get closer to this thing that you have on your list. And I know it sounds weird, and you might be saying, well, how's that going to happen? Well, I'll explain how it's going to happen. The first thing is because you'll be saying no to things that don't have anything to do with that list. So if you're saying no to things that don't have anything to do with this list, that means you have more time to go for the things that you really want. Okay? And finally, when there's something that, it's in the direction that you want to go, you're not going to hesitate. You're going to go for it. And this is going to lead to more things that are similar to that. So more opportunities come to you, right? More people, more networks are going to come to you. More situations are going to come to you. Okay? The problem is that most of us, we're not clear on what it is that we want to do. Okay? So what happens is it makes it hard for us to sort of say yes to things and no to other things because we're just not clear. So we say yes to things that sort of we want, but sort of what we don't want, and then that's how we get stuck. Okay? And I'm seeing some people here, so I'm glad you guys are joining. And if you have any questions, type in your questions, and at the end of this, I'll be happy to answer these questions. So yeah, please do that. So let's just get back to this thing here. So now you have the ability to have more time and more clarity on what you want to say yes to versus what you're going to say no to. Okay, so this all of a sudden will give you more opportunity and attract more situations to go for the things that you really want. Okay, so now when you commit to this and you commit to only focusing on the things that you really want, things will start to improve very, very quickly. Okay, and this is what I mean in terms of things improving. So you could get hired at a job that you really want. Okay, that's one option. But what you could also do is actually create something that's never been done before but adds a lot of value to people. Okay. Another thing is that you could actually do something differently than it's currently being done. So things are being done right now, but you can actually figure out how to do it differently. Okay, so people will pay a lot of money for that. Also, you could find a way to make things more easier and convenient for people. And trust me, when you can make things easier and more convenient for people, people will pay a lot of money for that as well. Okay, so this is how you're going to build your security. And the reason why I say you're going to build security this way is that because no one is going to actually come up with these things that you've come up with. No one's going to have the same passion that you have. And so if you've come up with these things and they're passionate to you, you can't help but just get better at these things. And when you keep on getting better at these things and you keep doing these things and you keep actually wanting to improve in these areas and you wake up in the morning and you want to do these things, then how do people compete with that? Right? How do they do it? They can't, because they're not going to be as good as you're going to be at it. And so what ends up happening is that you naturally will create your own demand for what it is that you do. Okay? So this is something that actually has changed my life, and at the same time I think it can probably help you with yours. So I just wanted to share it with you because I think there's a lot of people right now who are laid off. Maybe they're just not happy at work. And so I wanted to share this with you because I think it'll really help change your situation. And if you can start thinking in a different way and not like the crowd, then you're going to get much better results than the crowd. Okay, so I'm done. I just want to see if you guys have any questions. So Nishad, nice to see you. Tony, nice to see you. Too bad we can't go traveling anymore. We had a great trip. Shano, nice to see you as well. So Rahula says, how does saying no to things bring about more opportunities? How does one deal with FOMO of possibility missing out on an opportunity that although didn't align 100% with their goal in mind? Okay, so Rahula, saying no to things brings out more opportunities because what happens is that it frees you up with more time, right? Because when you're saying no to certain things, you have more time in front of you. And when you have more time in front of you, then when things actually do come to you that you want, you now have the time to go for them. Most people who don't say no, what ends up happening is they get stuck in things that they don't really find fulfilling and happy, and they don't even know that that other opportunity is there because they've already committed to something else. Okay, and so hopefully that answers your question. If it doesn't, then feel free to ask me something else or get more clarity on it. And FOMO, which basically means fear of missing out, how does that affect your situation? Pretty much. Well, FOMO, fear of missing out, is something we all have, and especially with social media. It's actually pretty intense because you'll see something that your friends are doing, and then you'll feel like, well, you're missing out because you're not doing that. So what you want to do here is you want to tell yourself that, look, and this is just my opinion, is that, look, you want to understand that you're going in a certain direction. Okay, you're going in a certain direction. You want to achieve something that is important to you, and hopefully if you've created this list, your why or your passion behind this thing is huge. Okay, and because it's so important to you and because it's this thing that you really, really want to go for, it doesn't really matter what everybody else is doing, because everybody else is doing something that maybe isn't the thing that you want to do. So if you're trying to fit in and be part of the crowd, then you're never going to have time to do the thing that you want to do. And if by fitting in is the thing that's motivating you, you probably are going to, it's probably going to be easy for you to say no to the crowd because the thing that you want is just so fulfilling to you. Okay, so it becomes easier to deal with FOMO when you've created that list of what I'm referring to. And again, if you came in a little bit late, the list I'm referring to is creating a list of all the things that make you happy and excited and motivated in your past. Okay, create that list, prioritize, be very clear on it, and all of a sudden you feel very, very determined to achieve that. And then FOMO really isn't going to be a factor because the thing that you want is way more enticing to you than what everybody else is doing. Okay, so Ashna, saying no also helps sort through what really matters. Exactly. Some things can be let go and we don't have to be involved or in control. Yeah, so Ashna, that's brilliant, because one of the key things that we're not taught, and again, counterintuitive, right? So counterintuitive means thinking differently from the crowd. What we're not taught is that, what we are taught is that, we should go for things and don't kind of miss out on opportunities and things like that. That's kind of what we're taught. But, the most successful people that I know of, they actually are very counterintuitive and they get very good at saying no. Okay, so the key of saying no, or the power of saying no, is extremely powerful. And you can look at this in all different areas. Like, look at students. Okay, the students that say no to certain things, and say yes to actually doing their homework and getting stuff done, somehow they do better. Why? Not because they're smarter than everybody else, but because they had the courage to say no to the things that they don't want. You can look at entrepreneurs, right? You look at entrepreneurs and they look at all these opportunities that come to them and they're like, no, I'm not going to pursue that opportunity. I'm not going to pursue that opportunity. I'm not going to pursue that opportunity. That frees up all this time. Now the one opportunity that they want, they go for it, and that's when the opportunities and more situations in their favor come to them. Why? Because they're not in areas which actually don't fulfill them. So hopefully that answers that question. If anybody else has another question, I'm happy to answer them. But I wanted to share this only because I think a lot of the stuff that we've been taught about how to be successful is actually counterproductive. And doing more things doesn't always mean you get better results. Okay, so as always, I try to make these things just, between 10-15 minutes long. So I think I've done that. If there's no questions, then that's great. If you do have any questions, then just put them in the little comment section, and after I publish this video, I can answer those questions. Okay, so hopefully you guys are having a great day. Talk to you soon. Oh, and if there's anything you want me to talk about or anything that you think will help you, let me know. Type it in the comment section, and I'd love to be able to maybe help you out in these areas if I know how to do it. Okay, talk to you soon. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.